Hey everybody, this is Trevor, and this is my channel, Social Dilemma. And tonight, I don't like to complain about a person. Okay, I do feel that we need to, address the ideas the person is presenting rather than the person. So, but I do feel that this is going to be a kind of a it's going to be on the person and the things that they're sharing. And I just want to say that Canadian Prepper is someone that I've been listening to, watching his videos on YouTube for years, 8 years at least, as long as he's been on. But this past March 2022, I just had it with him. Every other video is, there's going to be a nuclear explosion, an EMP blast over North America. We're all going to die in an instant flash, or we're going to be living through, the power grid completely down for could be years on end. And it got to the point in this past March where I got a rash on my body, and I don't know what I had, but I was sick. Coming out, just it was vomiting and rash and nausea, headaches. Up at 3 a.m. worrying about, Russia launching some kind of nuclear missiles and basically an EMP. That's what he keeps talking about. Some kind of, or basically wiping us out and launching nuclear missiles. And it got to the point where it was darn near, beginning of May, where the rash on my body's gone. I still have a slight rash on my stomach, but it's pretty much all gone now. And that's because I stopped watching Canadian Prepper. I think he's a very toxic person, but he does it in such a way that's very slick. And I recommend not even. I would get away from him. Get as far away from Canadian Prepper as you can. Definitely since October 2021, he had the fellow who does the Atlas bomb shelters on his show, and that guy was like, "Oh, in 2 weeks everything's going to be really different," and not in a good way. Well, here we are. It's July 3rd, 2022, and nothing Canadian Prepper talks about comes true. Really, it's nothing. He sells fear porn. And I'm going to say at least 2/3 of his videos are just fear porn. They're for the views. He puts up those big red channels, alert, emergency alert. He'll put in words like nuclear bomb. We have 3 days left. He'll say, "Oh, I got an email from my sister's roommate's cousin, boyfriend that, like he sent me an email saying, oh, the world's gonna end." Canadian Prepper used to do really good videos, and the last one he did that was really good, I watched in, I think, July or August 2021, was about 25 different dried foods, dried powders, garlic powder, dried foods that you can store. And he had a list. I still remember the video. It was 25. And I thought, wow, what a great video. And if he would just stick to those kind of videos, I'd promote him. I wouldn't be doing this video about him, but I need to warn people about him and the things that he sells. It's fear porn. And I went back to go back to his very first video. And his very first video was about masks. And on the mask, it's like, it's basically, he made a video in 2014 that would have been perfect for, 2020, right? So I have my suspicions about him. I don't think he's legit. There's another guy on there I think spits the truth, and that's Angry Prepper. I don't get a bad vibe from him. But when I look at Canadian Prepper, he's very slick. He's always he's very good at presenting what he does, almost like, the former President Obama, was very good at speaking, and so is Canadian Prepper. Very good at what he sells, which is fear porn. And I would highly recommend people just please open your, take off the blinders and look at him and look at his videos and look what he sells. Go back to his videos from years ago, even just up until October 2013. Go back to 3 days ago. We're all in peril of dying from a nuclear explosion, and that's all this guy sells. And it's always like, hey, I got this letter, an email from a good source of mine. I'm not going to tell you who the source is, or it's all private sources, and it's basically like his sister's roommate's cousin's boyfriend sent it to him. So, look, I don't know who's paying him. Like, I sometimes think he's being paid to make these videos, to stir up fear amongst the people. I mean, he has almost 800,000 subscribers. That's a huge channel for selling that kind of fear porn of, hey, we're all gonna die. And so, like, I've unsubscribed from him, and I haven't watched a video from him since March, because I'd wake up and 3 a.m. panicking. Oh my God, an EMP blast is going to knock out the power grid. And, it's unfortunate because he has a channel where, like I said, the last video I watched from a year ago was 25 dried foods to have, for long-term storage. And I'm all for that. And I would like to, if you find channels, there are channels where people will show you their farms. I like those kind of prepping homestead shows, where they'll show you, hey, this is what we do. We have a farm and we can food, and like they do, like what I do. I tell people to go to the grocery store now. You can, and you should. It's okay to long term buy food for long term. Canned beans, canned meats, rice. I have canned chicken, canned pork. I'm just looking at some of my stock right now, and I got a lot of canned beans, pasta. Even just in the bags they come in, they're good for a year. And the expiry dates, you could push the expiry dates, people. Canned pasta sauces, canned peaches. Man, I got the works. So I those kind of videos that Canadian Prepper did were really valuable, and that's why I just tell people, hey, it's not so bad to, invest in food that for the long term, because we are in a recession. Okay, inflation's here and recession's here. I mean, if you have an 80 IQ, you can just look at the price of gas. Here in Canada, it's at least $2 a liter. Here in the United States, it's like $5 a gallon. So you just don't have to look any further than the price of gas to know that we're in an economic shitstorm. So, hopefully I can shed some light and try to shed some information on here that can be helpful, but I certainly am not going to go around and say, hey, in 3 days' time, a nuclear bomb's going to blow up above, North Dakota and knock out the entire power grid for North America. And, I have it on good faith from, like I say, my sister's roommate's cousin's whatever got an email from him. That's bullshit. And he's fear-mongering. It's fear porn. So, please, if you're, you like Canadian Prepper, I do like some of his videos. I'm very skeptical. I would skip over those videos that say nuclear bomb in 3 days. The red alert videos, his emergency videos, EMP blasts, and skip over those. If there's anything that says how to survive in an EMP blast, that's okay. But when he's saying things like, hey, it's going to happen, and, I don't want it to happen, and obviously nobody wants that to happen. So that's why I do share the information of, hey, it's okay to have 50 cans of mixed beans in your house. Okay, it's okay to have 50 pounds of rice in your house. That's, you're going to go through it anyways, right? It's long-term expiry dates on these food, and you can go past the expiry dates as long as you're storing it in a cool, dry place. There's no rodents or insects getting to it. It's when the government says, hey, make sure you always have 72 hours worth of food and water in your house. I'm like, no. I mean, that's not going to help you, man. You need to have, it's okay to have a few months worth of food. It's not that bad. So it's not fear mongering. That's just, and like I say, Canadian Prepper has some videos like that. The last one he did, 25 dry items to have in jars in your house. Very helpful video. But he's fallen apart. He's just fallen apart. And you go back to his very first video on masks and makes me wonder about him. Like, who is this guy? Who is Canadian Prepper? He's very slick. I mean, he talks just like Obama and good looking fella. And, I ain't no beauty queen here on YouTube, but here I am just trying to share some ideas and shed some light. And I hope that I've shed some light on Canadian Prepper, because I think he is someone to be skeptical about. Okay, like say 2/3 of his videos are all, hey, we're all going to die in a couple days. It's like, oh, shit, okay. Maybe he has a couple videos that are okay on how to survive a nuclear winter or something like that. He tried to give his best advice on that, okay. But, these videos, I got a letter from a guy. There's something up with Canadian Prepper. I think he's paid by somebody. Somebody's paying him to do this. He's making a lot of money on YouTube. He has, like I say, 800,000 subscribers. I'm sure he's doing pretty good. And to make these videos, these fearmonger porn videos, he's even admitted that he gets those most views on those kind of videos. So he's probably sat back and who cares? Make these videos. So my predictions don't turn out. Who's gonna notice? Well, people like me. I notice. I go back to his first few videos that he's made. I went through all his videos. The very first one up until, tonight, I hadn't looked at his channel in a couple months, but I did go back there tonight just to see something. And it's just like, it doesn't take more than 3 minutes to read through his list of videos. It's like, it's all fear porn. So, yeah, look out for Canadian Prepper, okay? I highly recommend you don't go to his channel. And if you do, you be very selective in what you watch. Okay? Just if it's something that could be helpful. Like, hey, what kind of foods should I store? What's, how do you survive this kind of situation? Some of those videos, yeah. But I'm telling you, he's really ramped it up since October 2021 with his fear porn videos. So look out for Canadian Prepper. And if you've never been to his channel, I'd highly recommend you don't go there. But if you do, be very selective in what you watch. And be careful, open-minded about him. If he gives me a bad vibe. He gives me a very bad vibe now. And like I say, he gave me extreme pain this past March with his fear-mongering videos of an EMP blast. Russia's going to do, well, okay. But I don't get, like, it's complete fear porn that he's selling. So that's all I want to say. Just very skeptical and keep an open mind on Canadian Prepper. Okay? And this is Trevor for Social Dilemma. Please like, subscribe, share, comment. Thumbs up, thumbs down, whatever floats your boat. Okay? Okay, so everybody stay free, and we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.